Thanks for choosing this free Anfield Index podcast. If you'd prefer to listen to this or any of our other shows without adverts, then now's the time to check out Anfield Index Pro. With AI Pro, you can supercharge your entire listening experience. You'll not only get all of our podcasts without the ads, but you'll have them far faster with our Quick Publish feature available exclusively for subscribers. AI Pro also puts you in the heart of our sound studio, with an option to listen to many of our shows live and interact with the podcasters in real time as the shows are recording. Upgrading couldn't be easier. AI Pro is available on all popular podcast platforms, and we have our own apps for Apple and Android. Just head on over to AnfieldIndexPro.com and get started today.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Red, the final Daily Red before the European Cup final. This is Friday, tomorrow is Saturday, and tomorrow evening in Paris, Liverpool will take on Real Madrid in the Champions League final. And I don't know about you, but my nerves are already at me. I have smoked about 8 cigarettes already today. But weirdly, despite the nerves, this is actually the most confident I can ever remember being for a European Cup final. In 2005, I had no expectation that we should win. In 2007, I thought we could win, but wasn't hugely confident about it. In 2018, I wasn't confident we could beat Real Madrid. That Real Madrid, the team that were going for 3 in a row, we were only really starting to get going under Klopp. We didn't have any knowledge of how to win finals. In 2019, we played Spurs, and they're obviously the worst team we've played in a European Cup final, maybe out of all the European Cup finals we've been in. But at the same time, maybe it's because they're an English club. Maybe it's because they've given us some problems in the league over the previous years. I wasn't hugely confident before that game. I thought we'd win, but wasn't hugely confident in it. This time, weirdly, I am very confident. It's a multitude of things. First things first, we are incredible. Like this is one of the best teams English football has ever seen. Ignore the people that tell you, well, you've only won 1 league title. Ignore those people, because most of those people are very bitter Manchester United fans. They're upset because their club is no longer relevant in any kind of discussion for major honour. They are a club who, outside of 2 periods in their history, the Matt Busby era and the Alex Ferguson era, they're a club who've only ever won 2 league titles. Outside of Busby and Fergie, they've won 2 league titles. 18 of their 20, 5 under Busby, 13 under Ferguson. Their others were way back in like 1910. So ignore them. Remind them of the fact that outside, when they tell you a 1 league title in 30 years, just remind them of the fact that outside of the Busby and Ferguson era, which probably accounts for 50 years of their 140-year history, they've won 2 league titles. So 2 league titles in 90 years, basically, is what I'm telling you. When their team was dominant, they were the biggest spenders in the league. In the 90s, even in the 80s, they outspent everybody. In the 90s, they outspent everybody. They had nobody who could compete with them financially. And then Chelsea came along, and with Mourinho, Chelsea dominated them for 2 years and were the better team in that third year, that 06-07 year as well, but had a bunch of injuries, and that's what cost Chelsea the title. United had to spend their way back into being super competitive. Obviously, then they went on and won 3 in a row, and then City appeared on the scene. But that City and this City, very different things. And even that version of Chelsea compared to this City, very, very different things. They never had to deal with a team as good as this. They never had to deal with a team who spent as freely as this. who could attract big name players. Remember, when City first got the money, they were buying Ilano and Joe, and like their big hit was Robinho, who was kind of a flop in the Premier League. Then they got Tevez, and then they got Aguero and Silva and Yaya, and at that point they kind of took off. But for the majority of Ferguson's tenure, when United were winning titles, they weren't going up against super teams. Wenger's Arsenal and Mourinho's Chelsea were the two great teams they faced. Mourinho's Chelsea was only a thing for 3 years. And in that time, United won one title. Wenger's Arsenal could never compete with United financially. Wenger's Arsenal were of that time what we are now. United of that time was what City are now. Financially, obviously City not a patch on United as an overall football club. City fans will chirp up, oh, we've won 4 league titles in 5 years and you've only won yada, yada, yada. Right, that's all fine. That's great. Congratulations. You've won 4 league titles in 5 years. You won a league title 5 days ago and no one's talking about it anymore. Everybody's forgotten about it and moved on. Because nobody really looks at City and thinks that's a big achievement. Because everybody's aware of how they've won their trophies. Same thing with Chelsea. Chelsea bought all their success. City have bought all the success. They haven't built anything. They've bought it all. There's no history there. Aston Villa are a bigger historical club than both of them. So don't pay any attention to any of these people. Just ignore them. And then take a second and remind them, if we win on Saturday, that'll be 2 European Cups in 4 years. That'll be as many European Cups in 4 years as Chelsea have won in their entire history. It'll be 2 more than City have ever won. It'll be 2 more than Arsenal have ever won. It'll be 2 more than Spurs have ever won. The other big 6 clubs have a total of 5 European Cups between them. We already have 6. If we win this one, we're 1 shy of matching all other English clubs. You've got United with 3, Chelsea with 2, Forest with 2, and Villa with 1. There's 8 others among the entire rest of English football. And we could have 7. And Chelsea fans really shouldn't be talking to us anyway, because we've won as many European Cups as they've won league titles. Just think about that for a second. We've won as many European Cups as they've won league titles. That's who they are. They're not someone we should concern ourselves with. They're a team who, for the vast majority of their success, 5 league titles, 5 FA Cups, 3 League Cups, 2 European Cups and 2 UEFA Cups, they've done that with Roman's dirty money. They've done it by buying their way to success. And some of the success they had before that, the 2 FA Cups and League Cup they won in the 90s, the European Cup Winners' Cup that they won in the 90s, they did that while spending themselves into oblivion. So Chelsea fans can't talk to us either. We're on a level above them all. When they talk about the great European clubs, it's Real, it's Milan, it's us, it's Bayern, it's Barca, it's Ajax. It's none of the other English clubs. None of them. Ferguson was there 26 years. He won 2. Klopp has a chance to win 2 in 7 years. And when United fans try and say, oh, he's only won 1 league title in 7 years, what did Ferguson do in his first 7 years? He won 1 league title in his 7th year. He won a Cup Winners' Cup. and an FA Cup. And if he hadn't won that FA Cup, he was getting fired. And Ferguson did it while being by far the biggest spender in English football. Klopp has done it with United, Chelsea, City, Everton, and Arsenal, all outspending him. None of them can chat to us. Tomorrow night is our night. It's about us. It's about our football club. So ignore all the hate that comes, all the dissenting voices that you hear. Ignore it all. Tomorrow night is about our club. It's about our players, our manager. It's a game that they can't relate to. It's two teams who are European royalty. And none of them will ever be considered that. None of them. Myself and Carol have done Scouted today. We've previewed the final. That should be out by the time you listen to this. Myself and Trevor are going to have a chat later on as well, ahead of the final. So do check that one out. This is Anfield. Plenty of build-up stuff. The big news is that Thiago has travelled for the final. He is fit to play. Whether he's fit to start or not remains to be seen. It does look like Divock is unfortunately going to miss the final, which is a blow. But we still got 6 other really good attackers. Mo, Mane, Diaz, Bobby, Jota, and Taki. We're fine. We're better in defence than we were in 18. We're better in midfield than we were in 18. And we're better in attack than we were in 18. We're better in defence than they are. We're better in attack than they are. We're better in midfield than they are. We're a better team than Real Madrid. And our lads have incredibly strong mentality. I don't know that the teams Real beat to get here have. PSG mentally weak, City mentally weak, and Chelsea, well, they're one of the worst European Cup winners of all time. That Chelsea team that won the European Cup last season ranks with the previous Chelsea team that won it, us in 05 and Porto in 04, as probably the 4 worst or weakest winners of the European Cup in the Champions League era. So we're a different beast to what they faced before. It's always worth noting that City blew them away at the Etihad and should have left them dead to rights. PSG dominated them for about 150 of the 180 minutes that they played against each other. And Chelsea were 3-0 up at the Bernabeu. Real did beat them at Stamford Bridge, but Chelsea's form at Stamford Bridge this season was really poor. Only 9 home wins in the league. We shouldn't fear them. We should respect them because there's great players, but we shouldn't fear them. They're not the same animal they were in 2018. And we're a very different animal than we were then. Liverpool.com has a few transfer bits, a few bits from the press conferences. Check all of those out. Lots and lots to read there. AnfieldIndex.com. There is a new piece entitled Au revoir to the Three Musketeers by Stephen Smith. It's obviously about the original front three. There is a new Under Pressure, the Champions League final preview, Dan Rhodes and Phil Barter. So do check that out. There's a new Old School, which is basically just me shouting at gags. So do check that one. There's the Transfer Committee pod, myself, Dan, Gags, and Mo. And there's plenty of others there as well. So do check out everything on AnfieldIndex.com. Get yourself ready. Get hyped. Get prepared. Tomorrow, we go in search of history. We go in search of number 7. And we deserve it. We deserve it. For the season we've had, we deserve it. Up the Reds.
We hope you enjoyed listening to this Anfield Index show. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel so future podcasts find their way to your device automatically. There's nothing quite like fan engagement, and we'd love to know what you think of anything discussed on this show. The best way to get in touch is over on our free Discord community, where both podcasters and listeners debate the hottest LFC topics 24/7. Sign up free now at AnfieldIndex.com/Discord. You won't regret it. You can also follow us on Twitter at Anfield Index and find us on Facebook by searching for Anfield Index. Oh, and before you go, we'd love it if you could leave us a 5-star review on your favourite podcast app. It only takes a couple of seconds, and it means the world to the people who create these free shows.